And I told him basically everything that I told the nurses, the doctors, and the CPS. And so I told him the same thing. And so he was like, do you know of anything else that happened to your baby? And I'm looking crazy because I'm like, what else? Like, and so he was like, you don't know anything else that happened to your baby? And then that's when my grandmother, my mom's mother, she was like, Tiffany, if you know something, say something. And so I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? And so I honestly didn't know why they were even there, because I didn't contact them. I don't know who contacted them, but I didn't contact them. So I'm basically looking crazy because I'm trying to figure out what else happened to my baby. And so that's when the detective tells me, your baby was SA. I'm trying to use my words carefully. He was like, your baby was SA. And so my heart, so my heart kind of skipped a beat, and I told the detective, like, I gave his name, like immediately I gave his name, the guy that I was dating, because he was the only person that was, so he was the only person that was babysitting my baby. Like, nobody else was babysitting my baby. My dad wouldn't babysit my baby. My grandparents wouldn't babysit my baby. Like, I had no help. He was the only person that was babysitting my baby. Like, he was the only man that I had around my baby. So I gave his name immediately. I was like, you need to go get my, during the time I said my boyfriend. And so they was like, where is he? And I was like, I thought he was at the gym, but he was at the hospital the whole entire time. And so I told them, I said, he said that he was going to the gym this morning, but I haven't heard from him since this morning. So after they told me that, the detective told me that he needed to take me down for questioning, I was okay with that. So he had an officer to come in. He had an officer to come in and get me. He was like, you're going to go with them and they're going to take you down for questioning, because we need to figure out, like, we need to do an investigation. And so as I'm walking down the hallway, I see him. Like, I see the guy that I was dating. And I'm trying to figure out, when did he get here? And so initially, like, I didn't even, like, at the moment, I didn't even care when you got here. I asked him, when I approached him, when I got closer, I was like, what did you do to my baby? And he was like, what did you do to your baby? He said it literally just like that. In that moment, I knew he was going to try to, like, he was trying to set me up, like, try to put it off on me, like I did something to my baby. I knew then when he said that. So I rushed at him, like, I tried to ram him into that wall. The officer grabbed me and he put me in handcuffs, and he told me, you need to calm down, because this is an investigation and we need to investigate you. And so I calmed down, and as he was walking me to the car, like, I don't know, like, it's so much that was going through my head. Like, it was just so much in that moment that was going through me. So they take me down for questioning. So when we get down to the interrogation room, I see the guy that I was dating during the time. And I'm like, how did you, like, you were just at the hospital when we left. Like, how did you beat us here? So he basically beat us to the interrogation room. And so I didn't talk to him. I didn't say anything to him. In my head, I'm just like, how did he even get here? So initially I was thinking that a cop drove him down there, but a cop didn't drive him down there. He drove himself down there. And I don't even know how he even knew where we were going. And so anyways, I go into the interrogation room, and that's when the detective was questioning me. And he kept, like, for hours, he kept deleting the recording and having me to re-record, and I kept telling him the truth, and he didn't want to hear the truth. He wanted me to directly say that I seen him do something to my baby, which I didn't. I kept swearing to this. I swear to you, I did not see this man do nothing to my baby. I didn't know none of that was going on. He kept telling me, like, he went into your baby's rectum and you gonna tell me that you didn't know, and all this other stuff. I had no idea. I swear to God. And so then he leaves out of the room. The detective leaves out of the room. He goes to another room and talks to the guy that I was dating. So he get a statement from the guy that I was dating. Once he get a statement from the guy that I was dating, didn't take long at all. He come back to the room where I am, and he tells me, he said this. He said, you did this to your baby. You did that to your baby, blah, blah. Like, he just kept telling me, like, he said, you did so much stuff to your baby. And so I was like, I didn't do that. I didn't do that to my baby. I never did none of that. The stuff that he was saying that I did to my baby, I never did to my baby. And so I kept telling him that, like, I didn't do it. And so he asked me, have you ever spanked your baby? I said, yes, I spanked my baby. I said, but I didn't abuse her, and I didn't spank her to hurt her or anything. I was only being truthful. I told him I'd take that little small little pink belt that I had. I said I would tap her with that, and then I would take my hand and I would pop her on her hand with my hand. I said, but I never abused my daughter. The later it got, the more frustrated the detective got. He kept beating on the table, and he kept telling me, like, it's getting late. I gotta go home. You need to give me a statement. I'm like, I gave you a statement. You don't want to accept my statement. He was like, I don't believe you. And I was like, basically, like, I don't care. Like, I gave you a statement, and it's the truth. And so he was like telling me he kept telling me what he said, and I was like, I don't care what he said. I know what happened. I know what I did and what I didn't do to my baby. He was like, well, you not gonna go see your baby in the hospital until I get a statement. And so I was like, sir, I gave you a statement, and that's the truth. And so it went from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and he got frustrated. He was like, I'm gonna ask you this. He said, when you spanked your baby, what did you spank her with? And I told him the little small pink belt, and he asked me, he said, where's the pink belt? I told him exactly where it was. I said, it's at home, on the floor, or it should be on the floor next to the bed. And so he was like, okay. And he was like, what else did you spank her with? I said, I didn't spank her with anything else, just a small belt in my hand. Like, I would take my hand and I would tap her on her hand or on her butt or on her leg. And he was like, okay, that's it. I was like, yes, that's it. But I never abused my daughter. And so after that, he took the statement, and instead of him letting me go to the hospital with my baby, like he said, after I gave him a statement, they took me to jail. And they let him go because he basically lied on me to get his stuff off. That's basically what he did. So he was already gone from the interrogation room before it even hit 1 o'clock. Like, he gave a statement, and they let him go immediately. So when I got to the women's facility, they put me in the cell with this lady, and I did not go to sleep that night. I was pregnant. I forgot to tell y'all I was pregnant. So I was basically pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant with his child during the time. And he didn't care. I was 8 months pregnant with his child. And I did not go to sleep that night. So I was basically up crying, trying to figure out what the hell happened. Like, how did I get here? And I just had so much going through my head. So the next morning, I was sitting up in the bed, and this lady, she gets out of her bunk, and she starts talking to me, and she asked me, who am I? And I didn't say anything. So then she asked me, why am I here? And I didn't say anything. So she was like, kept asking me, she was like, you're not gonna tell me why you're here? And then so I was like, I don't know why I'm here. And so she was like, well, you know, you can go down to the guard desk after breakfast and ask them why you're here.